Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to model this miniature train here. We're going to start with the train body using the following dimensions. Alright, so let's go ahead and come into Autodesk, start a new standard.ipt part using inches, create, start a 2D sketch, XY plane, and the first thing we want to do is use our rectangle tool here, and we're going to drag out a 2-point center rectangle. So we're going to start at the origin here and just drag out a rectangle with a length of 2, alright, and a height of 0.875. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my circle tool, and right in this area, okay, I'm going to drag out a circle about, yay big or so. Actually, it gives us the dimensions here. So a diameter, if you look on your train dimensions, it has a radius of 0.75, so we're going to double that to 1.5. Okay, hit escape, and we're going to dimension that center point of our circle, okay, to the bottom to be 1.375 inches. Alright, now let's dimension, let's see here. No, that's fine. Now let's go ahead and trim some of these lines. We're going to have to remove our dimension here real quick. Come back to trim. Okay, and now let's go ahead and just put that dimension back in. And let's dimension from the center to that side. Alright, now let's go ahead and finish our sketch. We're going to extrude it 3.75 inches. Okay, hit OK. And we're starting to get that front end of our train. Alright, so let's go ahead and click on the face now. Start another 2D sketch. Now we don't have any dimensions for the back end of this train. One thing we do need to do though is make this arc with a radius of 2.35. Okay, the radius of 2.35. Okay, which you can remember, you can always double the radius for the diameter to give us 4.7 diameter. So one thing you can do now is we can make a circle. I'm going to show you two ways to do this. You can come out and do a circle with a radius, or excuse me, a diameter of 4.7. Alright, and then you can just draw your lines in so that they connect. And then, and I have an open loop here, so I need to fix that. And then you can just trim the rest of the circle. Okay. You also need to make the bottom here, and okay. Now we have the back of our train. We can finish sketch, and we can extrude it. I believe it's a distance of 1.75. Alright, so that's one way you can do it. Now I'm going to kind of come in here and show you a different way to do it. So we'll leave that one in place. But one thing you can do is now come down, and we want a center point arc. So what we can do now is start at the center, kind of come over here, and we want an arc now with a radius, if you remember, of 2.35. So we're going to go 2.35 inner, and we're going to kind of come over here. Whoop. Let's try that again. And we're going to dimension that arc to be 2.35. And once again, we're just going to draw on our lines here. Okay, and then let's just trim that part and that part. Okay, and we want to make these equal. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish our sketch. And okay, and as you can see, we use the same extrusion there. So it's the same thing we just did, just a different way to go about it. All right. Okay, so now we're going to make this cutaway part right here, and we're going to use some of these dimensions right over here. All right, so what you're going to want to do now is to click on that face, and let's go ahead and start a 2D sketch. We're going to grab a circle, and we're going to drag out another circle right in this area, and we're going to give it a diameter of about 1 inch. And then we're going to grab our line here, and we're going to find that tangent constraint. Okay, notice it put our constraint in there for us. So we're going to do another line now. And notice that tangent constraint automatically appears. Okay, hit escape. Now we want this dimension to be, I believe it tells us to be 0.25. Well, you know what? Let's edit, undo that. Delete that dimension. Let's make from here 0.25. Alright, that's better. And now we can dimension this one to be 0.25 and this one to be 0.25. Okay, now let's go ahead and trim that. And let's dimension that center circle to be 1.75. Let's use our line tool. Come on up, hit escape there. Now go ahead and finish our sketch. And we're going to extrude this. Once again, we're going to want to cut in a distance of 2 inches. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to create these two holes, these axle holes here. Notice they are 4.5 from this edge and 1 inch here from this edge, and they have 1/4 20 UNC with a depth of 0.875, and there's 4 of them. All right, so let's go ahead and create those now. So we're going to click on that face, start a 2D sketch, grab a point, just kind of place it for now here. Let's do another one here. Okay, let's dimension those. It's 0.5 from the bottom. And then we're going to do one inch from that corner or edge, and 4.5 here. Okay, and let's go ahead and finish our sketch. Okay, now let's come up to our hole feature here, and we're going to want to select right here. Okay, not here, but here. And it already by default puts in 1/4 20 UNC size, so we're good here. One of the things you want to make sure you have checked is full depth. All right, and that's saying our threads will be full depth here, and we're going to change this to the depth to be 0.875. All right, everything else looks good. Let's go ahead and hit OK. You can see it puts in our threads here. All right, so rather than create these holes again, let's just do a mirror. So you're going to come up here to plane, and you're going to select mid-plane between two planes. So just click there and there, and it's going to put a plane in the middle there. So now let's come over to our mirror and click on those holes, and then come over here to mirror plane, and then there you go. And hit OK, and there's our other 2 holes. And then let's just come over to visibility, turn that off. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and create this hole here at the top of our train. Notice it has a diameter of 0.5 and a depth of 0.25, and it's located 0.875 from this front edge here. Okay, so let's go ahead, come back to Autodesk, and what you're going to want now, I'm going to move it around. Okay, and you're going to select a plane that is tangent to surface and parallel to plane. So we want it parallel to this plane and tangent to this guy that I'm highlighting. Okay. Now we can start a 2D sketch on here. Put our point on this line. Let's go ahead and dimension it where it was. I believe it was 0.875. Okay, let's go ahead, hit escape, and finish our sketch. Put our hole in, and for this hole it's just a diameter, a depth of, let's come up here, let's just come over here, we want, so click over here, and we want a depth of 0.25 and a diameter of 0.5. Okay, hit OK, and there you go. I'm going to take the visibility off this work plane. Alright, and the last thing we need to do is create these holes here in the front. So if you look at these 3 holes here, alright, these 2 are 0.125 from this bottom edge, and this middle one here is 0.625 from this bottom edge, and then they're 0.375 from this left edge and 1.625 from this other left edge. Then finally, if you notice, they have a diameter of 0.125 and a depth of 0.125, and there's 3 of them. Okay, so let's go ahead, Click on that face, start a 2D sketch. Okay, I'm going to kind of put the holes, some points in their general locations. Now I'm going to go ahead and dimension them. Okay, 0.625 from the top. These were 0.125. Okay, and now from the edges, this one was 0.375. And this one was 1.625. And then this one, it's right in the middle. So we'll just give it an inch. Okay, let's go ahead and finish our sketch. Put in our holes. Okay, and these were diameter of 0.125 and a depth of 0.125 as well. Hit OK. Okay, now we need to make our final hole here. It's 0.375 inches from the bottom edge and centered 1 inch from both edges here. It has a diameter 0.25 and a depth of 0.5. So let's come back in here, spin our train around, start a 2D sketch, grab our point. Just going to go ahead and stick it there, hit escape, just dimension it 1 inch from there. And from the bottom, it was 0.375. Go ahead and finish our sketch. Alright, and grab our hole button, and we're going to make it diameter 0.25 and a depth of 0.5. Hit OK. Alright, and there's our final hole. Alright, so the last thing we need to do here is round all edges with a radius of 0.1. Okay, so all these edges need a 0.1 fillet, so we get something that looks like these round edges here on our finished product. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's come back, fillet, type in 0.1 here. Alright, and then just start clicking every single edge on here. Alright, let me make sure I got all of them. Right there. Right there. Right there. And I think that is it. Let's go ahead and hit apply. And there is our train body finished up. Alright. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.